On your bike, Boris. The right are wrong. And half-baked hampers. These are the interesting times. Hello, my name's Matt Johnson and welcome to The Interesting Times, a show that likes to take a sideways swipe at politics right here in the UK. And we start 2021 much the same way we finished 2020, talking about COVID. The UK has closed all of its borders to those countries not on its approved travel corridor. This includes Brazil and South Africa, which have reported new variants of the coronavirus. This came into effect this morning, Monday morning, leading to questions being asked the previous Wednesday when Boris Johnson, seen here trying to pass his own sobriety test, sat in front of the Liaisons Committee to find out why, again, there was a 9-day delay between being warned of the new variation of the virus from Brazil and the UK's decision to implement a travel ban. He was put under the microscope in his own little petri dish by Labour MP and woman aware of the fall horror sat in front of her, Yvette Cooper.
Has a new travel ban been announced on flights from Brazil?
Well, we are taking steps to ensure that we do not see the import of this new variant from Brazil.
But with respect, Prime Minister, what are those steps?
Pretty sure there's no respect there. And clearly Boris is having flashbacks to his Eton days, being called into the nurse's office to explain where he got that nasty rash from.
Because as of a few hours ago, I understood that it was still possible to get direct flights from Brazil.
No, we're taking steps to stop the Brazil variant being imported into this country, as we've taken steps to stop the South African variant from being imported into this country, as indeed the French took steps to stop the Kent variant being imported into France.
So that quarantine system, we heard this morning, is simply not working. The problem, Prime Minister, is this. You were warned in the spring about the need for further measures, delayed.
So much so that he appears to beg some divine intervention. I'm not kidding. Listen to this after he says no.
The measures, delayed.
Yep, that's Boris calling for God. Be afraid. Last time he did that, we got a plague. COVID restrictions are tightening across the country, and whilst the vast majority of people are following the rules, you always get a few exceptions. And last week, a couple of friends who independently drove 5 miles to take a walk were fined £200 by the police. And do you see where they went wrong? That's right, neither of them were the Prime Minister, because the very next day, Boris the Creep Johnson was pictured cycling at the Olympic Park, 7.5 miles away from his home in Westminster. Now, number 10 wouldn't say whether he drove or cycled there. I would say neither. He walked.
We are taking took steps.
On your bike, Boris. It is tough for the police, though, and not help when so many on the right are lining up to discredit the virus, the NHS, the science, the experts. We have Toby Young, seen here on Newsnight, being challenged on things he said.
But would you take any of it back? The second spike has refused to materialise and the 1 metre rule is unnecessary. I mean, is there not a moment of contrition from you that you wrote this stuff down and published it?
Hands up, I got that wrong, Emily.
Now, Toby deletes what he posts on Twitter a week after putting it up, so people can't use what he says against him. Put simply, Toby is the kid in the playground shouting, "Fight, fight, fight!" then slinks away when it becomes physical. There's also Julia Hartley-Brouhaha, seen here, pointing out it's not racist if you only do the accent. She has been posting on Twitter, including insightful, well-thought-out gems such as no second wave, virus will disappear in the summer, and bizarrely, this graph showing no excess deaths in 2020, which failed to show the year 2020. And Lawrence tells it like it isn't. Fox, who's bought a badge from Amazon to show he's exempt from wearing a face covering due to anxiety issues. Lawrence, seen here wearing a face covering, has been constantly calling for people to throw away their masks and embrace each other. Or death. Doesn't actually make it clear. These individuals have two things in common. No science background whatsoever, although, interesting point number one, JHB has a degree in PPE from Oxford, although, and interesting point number two, the PPE stands for philosophy, politics and economics. And the other is being wrong. Completely, undeniably and absolutely wrong. In fact, they could not be any wronger if they used the word wronger. But as an old boss used to say to me, opinions are like arseholes. Everybody's got one. And finally, there's been a few alarm bells about the state of some food hampers being sent out to feed the most vulnerable children in the country. People have been posting what they have been receiving on Twitter. Each of these costs £30 and is supposed to last a child a week. And let's be honest, that much sweets and crisps is hardly a balanced diet, unless you want to seesaw with a hippo. The company responsible for this is Chartwells, and they are run by Paul Walsh, seen here getting ready to watch his favourite video, the first 10 minutes of A Christmas Carol. He has made numerous donations of approximately £10,000 to, drumroll please, the Conservative Party. Of course it's the Conservative Party. Who else would it be? And just in case you think you couldn't despise this multi-millionaire anymore, his Wikipedia page puts him down as a big game hunter. What a hunt. Well, that's it for another week. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you are enjoying these vids, please don't forget to subscribe and hit all the notifications bell so you don't miss another. And I'll see you all next Monday. Take care.